Hi there, now we're going to read lesson 258. Let me remember that my goal is God, because this is what we chose a couple lessons ago when we said God is the only goal I have today. So now I'm saying, let me remember that my goal is God. We're going to need a lot of reminders here, because as a monster with two heads, we're going to keep going the way of the ego. So we got to remember that our goal is God, so that we begin to move into alignment with God's truth. Paragraph 1. All that is needful is to train our mind to overlook all little senseless aims and to remember that our goal is God. His memory is hidden in our minds. That's where we're going to find God, is in our minds. Obscured but by our pointless little goals, which offer nothing and do not exist. Those ideas in our mind are not real. You can't grab them. You can't sell them. You can't do anything with them. You can't, go to the store and buy more of them. When you stop thinking them, they dissolve, because they don't have any power except our belief in them. So sentence number 3 says, shall we continue to allow God's grace to shine in unawareness? Are we going to let that brilliance that is inside of our mind continue to shine like a big diamond in there in our unawareness? Well, that's how we've been living in the nightmare, because we've been unaware that God is already in our mind, accessible to us. So waking up from the nightmare is the process of beginning to realize that we have another way. Then we begin to train our mind in the way of love, the way of God. We return to love. Then we create a happy dream by forgiving others. And then we wake up, because we're only thinking with the mind of God. You're not choosing to be what you are. You then just become what you are, because what you're not drops away. So shall we continue to allow God's grace to shine in unawareness while the toys and trinkets of the world are sought instead? Are you going to keep chasing illusions, chasing somebody to love you, chasing for somebody to promote you, chasing money, chasing titles, chasing property ownership, chasing what the world has told you gives you peace, which it never does? It's always temporary if you even feel it. Because once you stop chasing, you begin to become aware that your happiness, your peace is not outside of you. That's what makes you come inside. And as you come inside, you realize that you've been living in a nightmare because you've got two ways of thinking. Then you begin to create the bridge that moves you to awakening. And that bridge is where you create the happy dream, which is the dream of healing what cannot be whole, because God created you whole. So we're removing from our mind all of these beliefs that tell us we're not what we are. So God is our only goal, our only love. It's the only source of love. We have no aim but to remember Him, because to remember God is to remember love, is to remember our power, is to remember truth, perfect peace, joy, unlimitedness, eternalness. Oh my gosh, that's where we want to go, is to remember that our goal has to be only God. So paragraph number 2 says, our goal is but to follow in the way that leads to you. We have no goal but this. What could we want but to remember you? What could we seek but our identity with a capital I, our identity as the son, as the daughter of the Creator, as one with all that is, as the one and only child, as the one and only essence that God created. We have to take it as I'm the only one, because that's how we begin to feel the magnificence of who we are, the absolute amazingness, our worthiness, each and every one of us created here as the one. That when we come to know our Father, our Mother God, when we come to know that exists within us, then we will want nothing more than to be the embodiment of that. Then we radiate that out for everyone else to see, to experience, not because we have to do that, but because it's what automatically happens when you remove the blocks, you remove the lampshade, and you turn on the light. The beacon will shine. You don't have to worry about people seeing it, because the shining will happen because you have accessed and activated God inside. See you in the next lesson.